A flashback to the iconic semi-final between Arsenal and Manchester United 20 years ago. There was something bordering enthusiasm inside the Arsenal dressing room during the hour before one of the iconic nights in Manchester United's history. Steve McClaren handed in the team sheet. Up it went on Villa Park's tunnel wall. No Ryan Giggs. One of 5 rested by Sir Alex Ferguson. Arsenal's players were approaching Lee Dixon, actively proclaiming how fortunate he was to be dealing with Jesper Blomqvist rather than snakehips Giggs. Little did they know what was to follow. Dixon, for his part, was anxious, aware that should United require a route back into the FA Cup semi-final replay, the last ever fought, he was in for a tough evening with heavy legs. Giggs would end the night barechested, racing down the Villa Park touchline swirling United's white away shirt over his head after scoring one of the most memorable goals of our time. Arsenal, 4-4-2, Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Keown, Winterburn, Parlour, Kanu 105, Vieira, Petit, Bould, 119, Ljungberg, Overmars, 52, Bergkamp, Anelka subs not used, Lukic, Vivas booked, Keown, Parlour scorer, Bergkamp 69 Manchester United, 4-4-2, Schmeichel, Neville, Johnsen, Stam, Neville, Beckham, But, Keane, Blomqvist, Giggs, 61, Solskjaer, Yorke, 91, Sheringham, Scholes, 76, subs not used, Van der Gu, Irwin booked, Stam, Beckham, Keane sent off, Keane scorers, Beckham 17, Giggs 109 referee, DLRA attendance, 30,223 a Mazzy run, with purpose and Neville, pouncing on Patrick Vieira's tired, loose, extra-time crossfield pass. And then the eventual strike's sheer explosion, high into the roof of David Seaman's net. The fear Giggs struck had seen Arsenal's backline pedal and jockey for so long, the sheer dread of his pace seeing them end up in nonsensical body positions, that the winger had travelled around 70 yards and weaved around them by the time he let fly. United supporters spilled onto the pitch with a sense of spontaneous euphoria that is not quite so prevalent these days for a number of reasons. Giggs was not booked for removing his shirt. Funny, really, that the Welshman, on as a 62nd-minute substitute, looks back and admits he was having a nightmare up until that point. I don't know where the celebration came from, Giggs, who had actually continued his jinking when fans encroached onto the turf, said. I haven't got a clue. It was one of those out-of-body experiences. Would I do it again? Probably not. It was a night to savor, and the report in the Manchester Evening News implored supporters to keep hold of their matchday programs. This is one of those occasions that will never be forgotten. You will want to prove that you were there, Stuart Mathieson wrote. Mathieson, forever a discerning voice in the city, was proven absolutely correct. Dixon and Tony Adams eventually waited outside the dressing rooms, where many of them had been so confident earlier, to congratulate United after full time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes Arsenal, who were gunning for consecutive doubles, would have gone on to win the Premier League title had the replay panned out differently. 18 minutes, Sheringham tees up Beckham who curls home from 30 yards out to open the scoring. 69 minutes, Bergkamp turns and shoots midway inside the United half. His shot takes a deflection off Stam and nestles in the far corner. 72 minutes, Anelka thinks he has put Arsenal ahead after rounding Schmeichel, but the assistant's flag rules it out. 74 minutes, Captain Keane is shown a second yellow card for clattering Overmars and United are down to 10. 90 minutes, Phil Neville brings down Parlour to give Arsenal a last gasp penalty, but Schmeichel guesses right to beat Bergkamp's spot kick away. 109 minutes, Vieira's poor pass in midfield is seized upon by Giggs. The Welshman breezes past half the Arsenal team before firing into the roof of the net to send United through. This was a story of United's inner strength, instilled by Ferguson, and undoubtedly sparked a momentous treble. At 1-1, after Dennis Bergkamp had cancelled out David Beckham's opener, Roy Keane saw red. A second yellow for hacking down Mark Overmars with 16 minutes to play. United were holding on with relative ease, extra time appearing increasingly likely, until Phil Neville tripped Trey Parlour inside the box. With no time left on the clock, Bergkamp, who had missed 3 of his last 5 penalties, failed again from the spot. Well, Peter Schmeichel succeeded, sprawling to his right and beating the effort away. The outpouring, the hand-waving, acted as a surge. Beckham ran over to revel with the Dane, but the goalkeeper shoved him away. Schmeichel went on to complete another fine stop from Bergkamp in extra time. United were out on their feet, somehow summoning the energy to go on. So too was David Ray, whose back was seizing up. Schmeichel again saved, this time on his line, and 11 minutes later Giggs was setting off on that run. "It was the only time in a football match where I ever smiled when I was playing," GNeville said this week. "That is the only time I have done it in a pressure moment. It was enjoyable as well as exciting." Peter Schmeichel had done his thigh, and so I was taking the goal kicks. I walked towards the fans to take one and smiled, thinking, this is unbelievable, this. You know when you just feel, this is something special.